last year.
Hi, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to the July Village Board meeting. If you could all stand and say the pledge with us, I'd appreciate it. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. So we're going to start off with our staff reports this evening. Our fire department report was written this week. Chief could not be here with us tonight, so if you have any questions, please just send him some questions. It was kind of a standard report for the month. Building department, I think we have our zoning and building officer here with us. Gary Goss is coming up to the microphone. And actually, I'll probably ask you to turn that on with a button on the top. I think I didn't get over there to do that. You see it?
Hello?
Oh, there we go.
Perfect.
How are you?
Good. As everyone probably imagines, it's been a pretty busy building season so far. We've been bringing in, pretty good revenue, I think. I've been sending reports to Catherine. Things are going well. It's starting to slow down a little bit with the permits. I've been busy sending out zoning violations and talking to residents in the village. In the last month, I've sent out or spoken to, or a combination of 13 different residents about some violations that they have. The biggest ones are, there have been some fences going up without permits, and there might have been some confusion from past, when the previous building inspector was here, replacing a fence in kind in the same place. Permits may have not always been issued, I guess. But the code is very clear, fence is needed for any permit, period. So I've been sticking to that and making sure that the residents are aware of that. I haven't had any trouble with anybody yet about that either, so, which is good. The other big thing is campers, travel trailers, utility trailers, and RVs. A lot of the residents in the village don't really have room on their property to properly store those trailers or whatever to meet the code, as everybody in the room is probably aware. So, they've been asking for help to try to come up with ways that they could store it without having to get rid of their campers. So what I've been doing is I've been directing them to the various local in-season storage locations, and I think the closest one is over by 84 Lumber on Western Ave. So, and most people have been unfamiliar with that as an option, which, it's been there forever. So a few of the people that I've spoken to said, hey, we would be open to paying like a $500 a year convenience fee to the village if we were allowed to leave our camper in the driveway all year long. And I tried to explain to them that, you would pay less if you just took it over to the storage place, because I think it's only like $40 a month and you can come and go as you please. So everyone that I spoke to about it has been pretty good. No one's given me a hard time about it, and not that they really have an option, because it is what it is, in the code. And but they've been glad that I've been willing to work with them and to make arrangements. And I'm hoping by working with folks, they're going to just do it next year and the rest of this year, and it won't be a battle anymore.
I will say, if I could interrupt you for 1 minute, that Patty and I recently were talking about the village newsletter. And, we went to an online format like many other municipalities for several reasons. We can do it quicker. It's financially a good choice for us. But we're talking about possibly going back to sending them home, because I think that information you're talking about is on there, and then people get it. They actually do read it when it comes into their mail. So, because we're seeing a little bit more of this than we did before, and I think when you don't get that reminder in the spring, so I don't know how you feel about that, but we're thinking that might be a good idea.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
And, some of the other issues that have come to light, talking to people, is there's a disconnect in the village code as far as definitions of what a trailer or a camper is versus what the New York State Department of Motor Vehicles definition is. So I had a few residents say, hey, is it okay if I park my, my camper, my RV, or my travel trailer on the side of the house? It says in the code that I can, and I try to tell them, no, it doesn't. It says you can park an RV on the side of your house. There's a big difference. And most people don't know that there's a difference, that an RV is one that you actually get in and drive, and all the other types, like the pop-up camper style or the actual campers, those are all travel trailers if you look at the definition in the code. So I've been trying to explain that to them. Hey, what you think you can park on the side of your home in the code isn't allowed. You actually have to park it behind your home. And then I've been asked, well, what's the definition of the rear of the home? And I've been trying to explain to them, it's basically, it's got to be behind the back line of the house. That's the definition of it. So I think people are getting it, and they're not arguing, like I said, with any of that with me, so, which is good.
And thank you for educating everyone.
So, yeah, I mean, you're welcome. It's,
Yes.
And there's, like I said, there were some people that didn't realize, hey, I need to get a permit for a fence. So I just said, yeah, you got to get one for any fence, whether it's a foot high or 6 feet high, you have to get a permit, And then I guess that's pretty much
All right.
it.
Does anybody have any questions? Okay, well, thanks for coming and
Yeah,
doing that.
you're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks. Jeff, do we want to move to Public Works since we don't have a police report this evening? Thanks.
First off, I want to remind everybody we're still under water restrictions and really would appreciate it if everybody follows it. Just for an example, we're running about 280 to 300,000 gallons a day in usage. Just that little rain event that we had yesterday knocked off like 80,000 gallons. That's 5 hours of runtime off our usage. So, it does make a difference if they follow the restrictions. On that note, we've been running strictly on Gun Club Road well, and we have a observation well right alongside of it that we dip every day, measure the depth of the water. As of this morning, we're 1 foot away from being at the lowest point since the late 70s.
Oh, wow.
So we're really getting down there.
Yeah.
Due to that, we've been in contact with Albany County Health Department, New York State Health Department, and we've got an okay to turn on number 2 well at Brandel. We tested at the beginning of last month. As you recall, our MCL, which is, we can't go past that limit, is a 0.3 milligrams per liter. The beginning of June, the number 2 well tested at 0.2. And as of 2 weeks ago, we retested it, it was 0.21. So we're still below that limit. We got permission to turn that well on. We're going to turn it on tomorrow morning. It'll still be in conjunction with Gun Club. We're going to slow down the pump rate on Brandel so that if it's in the aquifer, that manganese is in the aquifer. We're trying to not draw as much into our well system. It's going to be still mixing with probably 1/3 Brandel, 2/3 Gun Club. We've also got a test kit that's coming next week. It's not reportable results from this test kit, but we can do it for process control. So we can test at various points around our system at any given time and know where we're looking as far as our magnesium level. We're going to sample tomorrow morning when that well goes on. We're also going to sample both wells. And a week later, we're going to sample again. Just as long as everything's working out right, it'll be 1 month sampling after that. The way it stands, if we go beyond our limit, we may still be forced to send notices out and still use that water, as we're not gonna have a choice, especially with the fairgrounds coming on and, you know, and
Is there anything that happens when you merge the wells, you know, they're both active, that people will notice in their pressure or water or anything? No, okay.
no. And according to both the lab and the health department, if we're gonna have a problem, this is the problem to have, as compared to all the other problems that we could have with different chemicals in our water. You know, we can handle this. We just have to send notices out and make sure the public is notified of it. If we sample tomorrow, we should have the results back at the beginning of next week, know where we stand, so. We're also gonna be sampling the well that we're not gonna be using, with hopes that that may be even lower, and we could switch off, you know. Health department says we don't have to send notices out because we're under the limit, but if we go by that, past that limit, we're still gonna have to notify everybody like we did last time. That's it for that.
Jeff, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Might be dumb.
Nope.
Nobody has there's no ramifications for people that use water when they're not supposed to? I mean, why do we put that out there if nothing happens?
There's,
Like, it's supposed to be what, 7 to 9 in the morning, 7 to 9 at night, right?
Every other
Correct.
day.
Every
depending
other
on-
day.
according to your house number.
So,
But
People just do it
I think
in-
it's in the code where, I don't have it here, but it's something in the code where they get a warning, like 1 or 2 warnings, and then they can be fined a certain amount of money.
but who would monitor that? Is
Do
that
you guys observe it during the day, and then do you let, like, our zoning official know, or does
I-
it come from your
I
department?
don't know if it goes to zoning or if it just stays with me.
Okay.
I'd have to, I really don't want to
Right.
turn into water police, but
No, absolutely.
Could we send out a Nixle or something as some sort of a reminder?
We could do
I'm just
that.
thinking because the levels are so low. I'm not talking every year. Let's
Yeah.
go be water police. I'm just saying, like, there's a reason this year.
Right.
yeah.
Question, Kate?
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I know it's not public comment.
It's okay.
But I'm wondering if our levels are so low, why we are allowing
To even water at all.
to sprinklers, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna repeat that, so, because it won't be picked up. So we were just asked, with the levels so low in our wells, is there a reason that we're, allowing watering to happen at all? Should we have a water restriction permanent?
Completely.
Have
I
we
heard-
done that before in the past?
No, I heard on the news, either this morning or yesterday, that there's a local municipality that banned it completely.
Well, maybe this is something we can talk about in the next few days. We're most likely having a special meeting next week for things that weren't prepared for tonight, and that would be something we could talk about that evening, and see what you think, and talking,
I'd-
with your crew
The
and,
way it stands right now, if this works out right, we can handle it.
We're okay.
I'd rather not
Okay,
get into that and, you know.
so, yeah,
The people spend a lot of money on their lawns and,
yeah, I get it, yeah.
I know, Jeff, but have you seen my lawn? I spend a fortune, but it doesn't matter because I'm
Well,
not watering and it's dead.
But
I
you don't
want
wanna
water to
lose-
flush my toilet. I
Yeah.
get it.
Okay, as long as you think we're good at the moment, so. we-
It was just a thought. I didn't know. It's just a
No,
thought.
we've been kicking that around, but
Okay,
try to keep that on the back
we'll see how the
burner as long
next
as
few
we
weeks
can.
go, for sure, but,
We're starting the sidewalks up in Orsini Park. We sectioned off the back part of it behind the gazebo. We'll start tomorrow replacing that blacktop sidewalk with a wider concrete sidewalk and better flares on the ends.
It's a great day to start. It's gonna be like 95 degrees tomorrow.
Well,
they're
actually,
starting near the shade.
Oh, okay.
actually, this is ideal because we want rain for the wells, but we don't want rain for that project.
That's true, that's true.
You know, we're gonna be doing it in phases so that we can keep the park operational. You know, some people are gonna be inconvenienced a little bit, but we gotta do it this time of year.
Yeah, I think, we've tried so many different ways of doing this, and that, it's a very active park, and the only way to do it is a chunk here, a chunk there, to get it done hopefully by fall, that's the only way to
That
go.
was a problem last year. We had planned on doing it last year, and there was so much going on that we didn't wanna tie it
And the
to
rain
park.
last year.
Yeah.
It was really wet, so,
But with the one, we had a good window where we could've really got a lot of work done, but it was just too much going on up there.
yeah,
So we're committed now.
no. I think it'll be great, it'll be a great improvement, it's been long overdue, so I
Yeah.
think it's gonna look really nice when
It
it's
will
done.
look nice, yeah.
We're still working on our I&I problem with the sewer. Any free time they get, they're out in the pulling manholes and, of course, it'd be easier if it was raining so we could see more, but there again. They've been trimming brush on the line of sights at intersections so that it's easier for people to see coming out. They've replaced some of the road signs that are faded. On a good note, I don't know if you recall, 2 months ago, I said that we have 4 SBR basins in the wastewater plant, and there's big actuators on the end that raise and lower big skimmers in these big tanks. And one of the actuators broke on us. We had the company come out, look at it, and they were talking at the time that it may have to get shipped back to Germany, and they were looking at it like a 6-month lag time and up to $50,000 to repair it or replace it. They took it out about 4 weeks ago, sent it to Pennsylvania. They worked on it down there, and we got it back last week, and it's working fine.
Oh, great.
So our sewer plant went from 75% to 100%.
Oh,
That's
awesome.
good.
But I
Awesome.
haven't got the bill yet, but that's.
It's gotta be cheaper than traveling to Germany.
It's gotta be.
So,
I think so.
oh my goodness.
And that's it.
Well, thank you.
Thanks,
enough.
Jeff.
Appreciate it. It's a lot. Yeah, it's been a busy month. Okay, looking at the next, let's see, we had a chance to review the abstract and sign the vouchers tonight. Could I have a motion to accept the abstract for this month?
So moved.
Michelle is first and second.
I'll second.
Tressa, and roll call, please.
Trustee Matulowicz?
In favor.
Trustee Ganance?
In favor.
Mayor Denine?
In favor. It is time for public comment. If you have a comment you want to share with the board, come on up. We have just a small contingent of public this evening.
Small.
Okay, since I don't see any movement, I'm going to move down to the agenda for this evening. Item number 1 on the agenda is consider approval to hire Thaddeus Rockhill of Knox and Damian Gizzy Gilderlin as part-time seasonal lifeguards for Bozenkill Park at a rate of $14.50 per hour per recommendation of Adrian Bush, Bozenkill Park Director. Could I have a motion?
So moved.
Tressa, and second? That's you.
I can't remember the word. What is it? I second it? Is that
Yeah,
all I
yeah,
say?
second, sorry, I
I'm
don't
losing
know what
it.
you're asking
I'm
me.
sorry.
Roll call.
Trustee Matulowicz?
In favor.
Trustee Ganance?
In favor.
Mayor Denine?
In favor.
Good Lord.
Let's see, item number 2 is consider hiring Jeff Cardinal, Schenectady, as part-time 2022 seasonal gardener at $25 an hour. Could I have a motion, please? So moved. Michelle, and second?
I'll second.
And Tressa, and roll call, please.
Trustee Matulowicz?
In favor.
Trustee Ganance?
In favor.
Mayor Denine?
In favor. Consider approval of contract for Village of Altamont's renewal of liability insurance of $52,394.24 from Marshall and Sterling. Just to make a note that this renewal came in under budget by just over $3,000, so that was great. Could I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Ooh,
She
it
can
was a
have it.
tie.
She
All
can
right,
have it.
Tressa, and second is?
I'll
Michelle.
second it.
Michelle, second it, and roll call, please.
Trustee Matulowicz?
In favor.
Trustee Ganance?
In favor.
Mayor Denine?
In favor. Item 4, consider approval to purchase terrorism insurance of $711 from Marshall and Sterling. This is our annual item for consideration. We have to consider it every year. This actually is, our insurance provider recommends that we deny this insurance coverage, actually. So that's what we have done year after year. So if no one has any comments other than that, unless you do, I can tell you, one thing is, the reason they also deny it, one of the reasons is that this standard for proving it was a terrorism issue that you have with your system is impossible kind of to reach. That's one of the main reasons. So I don't know if there's any questions on that.
No.
No? So what I would like to do is make a motion to decline purchasing of terrorism insurance of $711 from Marshall and Sterling. So I would need a second.
So moved.
Michelle is second. And roll call, please.
Trustee Matulowicz?
In favor.
Trustee Ganance?
In favor.
Mayor Denine?
In favor. Item 5, consider consider approval of application from Richard Giltz Jr. Byrne for firefighter membership in the Altamont Fire Department per request of Paul Miller, Chief. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Tressa?
I'll second.
And Michelle, second. And roll call, please.
Trustee Mitchellwitz?
In favor.
Trustee Ganance?
In favor.
Mayor Denine?
In favor. Item 6, consider request of Altamont Fire Department to participate in the following events: Movies in the Park in July and August, National Night Out on August 2nd, and all per request of Paul Miller, Chief. Could I have a motion?
So moved.
Michelle, and second.
I'll second.
Tressa, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Item 7, consider approval of board minutes for June 9th, 2022. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Tressa, and second.
I'll second it.
Michelle, roll call, please.
Trustee Mitchellwitz?
In favor.
Trustee Ganance?
In favor.
Mayor Denine?
In favor. Before we go, we only have one item left on our thing. I will say that our next scheduled meeting is for September 6th. However, we will let the public know, as well as put it on the board, we may have a special meeting next Tuesday. We had some paperwork that didn't get here by today, but it's a time-sensitive paperwork, so we may have that meeting next Tuesday at 6 o'clock in the courtroom. So I just want to let people know that. And I would just like to say, so far, food truck evenings have been going very well for the village. Concerts are tonight on Tuesday night. They're having a great concert tonight, so hopefully people come out for those the rest of the time. Anything else I'm missing?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. So consider motion to adjourn. Item 8. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
So now you want to stay. Trust. And second,
I second.
Michelle, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And opposed? Okay, great. Thank everybody for coming, and we'll see you on hopefully September 6th or possibly next week.